Hey guys, Awesome Soul here, and I'm here today with a bit of a interesting video subject. A lot of us play RuneScape as a primary game or something we enjoy grinding skills out and things like that, but there are times where we just want to do some schoolwork or play another game or something like that, but still get some gains, even if they're minor. Well, in this video, I'm going to be going over my top 10 favorite AFK things to do in old school RuneScape while playing other things. And that is a working title, and it will probably not be that long in the actual video title, but anyway. So, I guess, and the one thing I'll preface is, these are in no particular order. Some of these are going to have pretty high requirements, some of them are going to have pretty low requirements. It's just kind of what, these are things that I like to do, and they may not be the most efficient or the most, I guess economic things to do for some people, but if you're like me and you're a full-time student or you play other games, this is a really nice thing to be able to do when you're doing those things. So the first one I'm going to talk about is woodcutting, and we're in the woodcutting guild, so I'll just kind of go over that. Anytime you have like 60 plus woodcutting, or even I guess 45 is pretty AFK, but 60 plus, you can chop yew trees, which yew trees are really slow, really AFK. They don't make a lot of money, but they are a really good thing if you just want to grind out some woodcutting levels and chill, do some other things, watch some Netflix, do whatever. Also, when you get 75, the magic trees are right there, and when you get 90, you can go up to the redwoods, which are really, really AFK. I, unfortunately, do not have access to redwoods because I only have level 74 woodcutting, but it's just something I like to do. So let's move on to the next AFK method. For my next method, I want to talk about fishing. Fishing is a skill that in general is fairly AFK and fairly slow. If you're doing barbarian fishing or 3-tick or tick manipulation or anything like that, it's not going to be this slow. But if you are like me and you want to do something else, fishing's a really good alternative if you want to do these slower methods. So I'm fishing sharks right now because I have 99 fishing and they require 76, so why not? It's not near as fast as minnow fishing, but it's still a good way you can make some money and, just get some XP. I also recommend doing monkfish. I did monkfish a lot of the way to 99 fishing because they're like 40k an hour, and I don't know the exact price for monkfish at the moment, but I know that made me a couple mil. And there's also the thing with fishing is they also have the chance to drop clue scrolls when you fish. So you could also make extra money if you get lucky on like a medium clue and get ranger boots, which actually happened to me. So there is some money to be made even if you're just doing stuff like this. If you don't have 76 fishing, get the fishing for monkfish, which I think is 62-ish, or just do lobsters. Heck, I mean, it's not the most money, but it's something to do, and you can get some decent fishing XP while you do it, especially in those lower levels. It all adds up, so that's why I think fishing is a really good alternative for those of you that want to AFK. So I will see you at the next method. So for the third AFK activity, I wanted to talk about killing sand crabs, or just AFK combat training in general. But for the lower levels out there, sand crabs are a really good way to get your melee range and mage stats up without a lot of effort or attention being paid. They don't hit that hard, and they have a lot of HP for their levels, so that means they get pretty good XP. The thing about sand crabs is no matter what level you are, they're always aggressive to you. And of course, like any other mob in RuneScape, they will eventually stop being aggressive and you can just run away to reset the aggro on them. The thing about sand crabs, if you've killed rock crabs before, they're the exact same thing. They just have a different model and they are a little more abundant than the rock crabs in Releka or Waterbirth Island. While training Slayer is probably the best way to get your combat up, this is a really good alternative for those who don't want to pay attention while they train Slayer. So that's all I really have to say about that, and I will see you at the next activity. Okay, so my next activity is smithing cannonballs. Cannonballs require level 35 smithing as well as the completion of the Dwarf Cannon quest. It takes a few minutes to be able to make a full inventory full of cannonballs, which I've taken this clip 3 times now, and I'm just now getting close to the end. So obviously it takes a little while. The thing that's nice about cannonball making is you can just set it up and leave it, and the only thing you have to do is run back to the bank, get the steel, run back to the furnace, and you'll passively get smithing XP. So I'm just going to go back to my bank, I don't even have to deposit the cannonballs. I'm going to type in steel bars because my bank is a mess. Grab an inventory of steel. Run back to the furnace. And make cannonballs. And then I'm good for, like I said, 3 or 4 minutes to go do whatever I need to do. It's a really, really good thing to do if you want to AFK. So I would highly recommend that. So I will be back with my next activity. So for our next activity, we're going to talk about smithing dart tips. And dart tips are basically something that require the completion of the tourist trap quest. And they are a great AFK method to level up your smithing while either breaking even or even making a little bit of profit. It very rarely does not make profit. So if we go ahead and I'll show you real quick. We'll price a mithril bar. So I have a myth bar here, costs 799 GP a pop. We'll make 1 set of 10 dart tips. Let's see what the price of that is. So I make about 21 GP from that. So right now, dart tips are making profit. It's not a lot of profit, but it's basically a free way I can level my smithing. And I think dart tips are anywhere from like 45 to 60k smithing XP an hour, depending on the metal you're using. And it's a really simple and really good AFK method if you want to level your smithing. It's quicker than Cannonballs, but it is a lot more XP, and you get a lot more out of it in terms of, like I said, getting the XP. If you're going for XP, this is what I would recommend. So, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Let's move on to the next clip. Do you want to get an easy 99? Do you want to make money while doing it? Well, fletching is the AFK activity for you. Fletching is a super simple, super profitable, okay, not super profitable, but you're going to make some money along the way to AFK old school RuneScape while still making some gold. And the XP rates are really good. So let's go ahead and compare. 1 U-log is 260 gold a pop. If, I don't know why I exited out of that. If we put up a U-longbow, that's 324 gold a pop. So in total, you make 164 gold for every U-longbow you cut. And of course, prices are always changing. If you're watching this video in the future, things will probably change. And then just deposit it all in here. And the thing is, it's really easy. You don't ever have to move. Now, if you want to string bows, it makes things a little more complicated because it's a bit of a quicker method. But if you just want to AFK, chill out, write a paper, do whatever, this is what I would recommend. One of my favorites, actually. It was my first 99 on this account. So I gotta say, pretty easy, pretty worth it. I know some people think it's a noob skill cape, but it's still a skill cape, and it is something you should be proud of. If you could get a 99, make a profit, just AFK, chilling, I don't see a problem with that. So, anyway, let's move on to our next method. Do you want to trim that 99 fletching cape you just got, or do you just want to make some profit and get another 99? Well, cooking is another excellent option for that. Cooking is another great AFK thing to do when you're doing something else. I know the YouTuber Mudkip got 200 mil cooking on his main account just as something to do, super AFK, and you're going to turn a profit. That's the nice thing about some of these methods is you do make a pretty decent amount of gold. Let's go ahead and compare here. I have 99 cooking, so I don't burn sharks, but you know, you're going to want to look at what you can cook based on the burn ratio. You might want to use cooking gauntlets and things like that. I'm not going into super detail because that's not the point of this video. But if we look at something like shark, one shark is 884 gold. If I put a shark up there, it's 959 gold. And let me do some quick math on my phone calculator here because I'm not good at it. So if we just subtract the old 959 minus 884, that's a 75 gold profit. Not a ton of GP made, but it's still an easy and free 99. The XP rates on cooking are also phenomenal. Like, I'm talking like a couple 100k an hour with very minimal effort. There, of course, are less financially profitable ways, such as getting 99 from wines, and it's a lot faster that way, but if you're just looking for something to AFK, this is what I would recommend. The XP is stupid good, and if you're looking to make profit, I would look at the cost of the raw versus the cooked, and if you're just looking for easy XP, I would look at what gives the most XP, and for cooking it, even if it doesn't make a profit, that's what I would, just AFK that. So
once again, cooking like fletching is a very, very worthy skill to AFK while you're doing other things.
So I'm going to go ahead and just start this next method. So for the next bit of AFKing, what you're going to need is some moderately higher stats than what I've recommended / required for the last few activities. You're going to want 70 attack, 70 strength, 70 defense, and 75 slayer. I just happen to barely have 75 slayer on this account. You're going to want to have a rock hammer, and you're going to want to have a perk from your Slayer Master unlocked, which will require some a decent amount of Slayer points. Let me talk to her. You're going to want to have Gargoyle Smasher, which is 120 Slayer points. You automatically smash gargoyles when they're on critical health if you have the right tools. So if you have a rock hammer in your inventory, you can smash gargoyles without having to worry about using the hammer on them. This makes them an insanely good and AFK money-making method. I don't know why I got a rune full helm drop, but anyway. And you're just going to want to go to CKS on your ferrying, Canopus. Head up here. And the other thing is, if you have the agility to use the shortcut to get to the gargoyles, like I do, you're going to want a Slayer Helmet because it'll end you up right in the Aberrant Specters. So I'll just, I will show you what I'm talking about when I get to gargoyles. So here I am at gargoyles, very simple. I avoided the Aberrant Specters, used my Slayer Helmet, so we're going to attack the gargoyle. And as you can see here, my Guthans is proccing. You also want to have some nature runes, just so you can high out things, because there's a lot of alchables that these guys drop, like rune equipment, things like that. It's not the fastest killing thing, but it's very AFK, and you do get XP for all your different melees. You can just train defense if that's what you want to do. You also want to put it on pound for the crush effect, because they are weak to crush. If I can hit with crush. Well, and you'll want to have a ring of wealth with the coin pickup feature toggled on, so that every time you kill these guys, you'll pick up whatever coins they drop, because they can have drops upward of 10,000 gold. So I just picked up 727 coins. Very simple. And I did this for probably a couple of days, just off and on, messing around, probably a week and a half ago. And I made like 1.4 mil just from messing around. I was doing a lot of other things. I was doing schoolwork, playing Warcraft, other games with my buddies. So I would highly recommend this if you are looking for a good AFK moneymaker and you have the requirements. So let's get back to it, and we'll go to our next method. So another great AFK method, if you're willing to do a little bit of clicking, is running orbs. So if you have the magic, so I'm viewing this requires level 66 magic, but if you have the magic and are willing to brave the wilderness, charging air orbs can be a really good AFK moneymaker. It's, as long as you don't get PK'd, it's very straightforward and you don't have to worry about, much. Now, I will admit, I've been PK'd a couple times doing this, so it is something to be aware of. I wouldn't bring anything out in the wilderness you're willing to lose. I mean, that's the rule for anything like this. Now, I'm running right now to the altar, and like I said, just be aware of PKers. If you get PK'd, you really don't carry around that much. Just don't carry around all your runes and stuff like that with you, because if you do die, it's really not going to be a fun loss. So we just run through here, and I would recommend having Protect from Melee on when you run through these black demons, because they do hurt. Run through here, and go up top, and I may get PK'd. I'm all alone. Just use the spell on the altar. Make all air orbs. And I actually just got a hard test for my achievement diary. So, and as you can see here, very slow, very straightforward. And let's go ahead and look at how much that costs. That's 1.2k per orb, so a lot of money to be made there. I would definitely recommend doing this if you want to risk it. There's other orbs that you can charge in the game. They're a lot safer. If that's something you want to look into, I would highly recommend it if you don't want to risk it. So, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. And let's move on to our last and final activity. So for our last and final method, we're going to do an old favorite, making house tabs. I don't have the construction that has a high enough lectern to be able to do it in my own house, which a lot of people watching this video may not. So we're going to borrow someone's house. So we're going to go to this fella, Yoda Monkey. and they should have a lectern in here somewhere. And I'm doing this just live and raw, just so you all see. Let's see. Maybe he's got one. Maybe he doesn't. A lot of portals. There we go, lectern. And we can make tablets. And the most profitable ones that I found at the time of this video, at least, and this has a fairly low requirement anyway, so I would recommend doing it regardless, is rock teleport tablets. And bring your runes. If you have a rune pouch, it makes things a lot easier. If you don't, just bring the runes with you. And you can just sit here and you're going to make rock tablets. It takes a little while to make them. You're going to get some decent mage XP. And the other thing is, if you do have the level to make tablets in your house, you can actually get your butler to bring you soft clay to use, so it makes things a little bit easier. Just be aware that you will have to pay him. Or her, I guess. But it's still a very good AFK method, and I would highly recommend it. So I'm going to finish this inventory, and I will outro the video. So there we have it, guys. Those are 10 AFK things you can do in Old School Runescape. Some of them make some money. Actually, all of them make some form of profit. May not be the most, but you will have some gold to show for it and some XP as well. While, like I said, these are not efficient for the efficiency inclined, it is a nice thing you can do if you just want to chill, take a break from the hard day of grinding, play some other games, or do some schoolwork. So, you know, I just thought that would be a fun thing to make a video about, and I had a good time making it. So if you like what you saw, feel free to subscribe. I'll be doing more videos. I'm actually going to be working on a main progress video, as well as a few guides here and there, just as I see fit. So anyway, guys, this is Austin Soul signing off.